Hey, hey. Good morning, fam. Chris, what's up, dude? How are you, bro?
Good, man. How you been?
Good. You look fantastic. You're glowing, man. You've been working out. You've been doing some fasting, haven't you?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm actually under the weather. I woke up and I drowned myself with a bunch of Dayquil. So let's see how this goes.
Fun stuff. Well, I guess better than NyQuil, right? Better than starting the show and jumping on NyQuil. Hey, what's going on, guys? Afternoon. Hi from San Antonio. Welcome. Man, what I wouldn't give to be in San Antonio right now. I'm looking out at a bunch of snow right now, and it's cold as crap outside, and it's dark and dingy. And if anybody, is really into living in the darkness and shitty weather, man, move on up to Alaska. It's the place for you guys.
Nicole Tedder, good to see you. Good to see you in here.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for being here. I
SuperMario.
am your host. Welcome to the Elephant Show. My name is Jesse Stanton, and we have the Christopher Mother James in the house.
What's going on, everyone? Good to see everyone here. I know this is a crazy weekend for the Sub 2 family and the Astro family as well. I know they're out in Arizona having a great old time with Paige, Jamil, and the rest of the crew. So little jealous. I'm a little jealous. But I know you guys are having an amazing time. Amazing time. SuperMario, good to see you in here. We got Luke. Good to see you back. Yeah, I don't know. To be transparent, guys, I haven't been in Alaska. I wouldn't even know. That's all Jesse.
Dude, it's so fun having this podcasting stuff. Like Carlin's like the bleep button. Dude, I have a lot of fun with this thing, man. Yeah, we have a good time in here, guys. So thank you guys for joining us this morning. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic week. Chris and I have had a very eventful week. It has been absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Ooh, this is a good question. Chris, I hope I'm saying this right. Is it Shifra? Why is it called the Elephant Show?
So many things, right? The Elephant Show is more so gears back to real estate. We're on real estate, right? We're more so gearing towards, what the next step is. Within real estate, there's so many different avenues you can go. And Pace created the Elephant Challenge, specifically geared towards people who are looking to get either their first deal, their 100 deal, whatever that may look like. And specifically, the elephant gears to, it's a big animal, right? There's so many opportunities, and then it's almost like taking a chunk out of a big thing to get nothing, right? And maybe so, an elephant is just an animal we describe as the big space of the real estate atmosphere. And it's huge. I don't know another animal that's as big as an elephant. I just thought of that actually.
The moose here are pretty big, Chris, but I don't think they're it could be called the Moose Show, I guess, but it probably wouldn't hold the same weight.
Yeah. So within the Elephant Show, we do a lot of different things. We talk about mindset, we talk about comp, we also do a little bit, agent outreach. We do a lot of various of things that, make sure we're guiding, not just guiding. We want to make sure we're giving back to the community and letting them know specifically what challenges or obstacles we went through in the past to make sure you guys don't go through the same thing. Because Jesse and I know there's a lot of different things we went through that we learned from. And it's always great. A lot of people take that as defeat or whatever that may look like. But we literally look for those kind of things because specifically we want to create so much chaos where specifically we teaching others like, hey, make sure you don't do this because of this. Make sure you don't do this. And a lot of people don't know that Jesse and I are working on 50 states. We working on 50 states. We successfully closed in over 14 states thus far and still going. And literally, there's a lot of different things that, a lot of people come to us and say, well, is there different rules, regulations? 100%. Of course, it would be. I think this would be a phenomenal world if everything was standard across the board. But it's just the way it is, different things. There's title states, there's attorney states, there's escrow, only states. There's a lot of different variations. It's the only thing about it, just adapt. Just literally adapt to what's going on. If you don't know the right answer, find somebody who does. Jesse and I we don't know all the answers, but we do know we have a community around us that can support us in every way. And that what gears back to, the Elephant Challenge more so, it's almost like a free lead generation. Those who don't have a lot of money And this is like a perfect opportunity for everyone to understand that you don't need a lot of money to get into real estate. You don't need to have $100,000 liquid before you can do anything. You don't need it. Jesse and I built our entire business off the book Who Not How.
Amazing book, by the way.
100%. 100%. And literally, our business right now is doing very well. It's very well. And I'm not just being cocky or anything. I'm just being transparent first. We just took what we learned from other experiences and we implemented to our business. And here we are today. And yeah, nice to see you again. I think I'm a scripted name. I think it's Navi. I want to say it's Navi. Jesse and I had a conversation. We had a conversation with her the other day. Phenomenal woman.
We're going to be doing some awesome things with Navi.
100%.
Really excited.
So yeah, I hope that answered your question about what the Elephant Show is and what we do. And Jesse, what is the name of the book?
Who Not How. Who Not How. So who's like Chris said, who's the author?
Yeah.
Oh, the author. Man, you're putting me on the spot. And I got to go check it out. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
No worries.
I'm embarrassed that I don't remember it off the top of my head. I've got to go through all the books. I've read a lot of books this year, dude, and I've implemented a lot of stuff. It's been really neat. Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. Yep.
Luke said he just finished it. Look at that. Great book.
Luke. Freaking dope, man. Amazing. Like Chris said, we built our entire freaking business, guys, off of this one book, off of this one freaking concept. And it's just phenomenal. The information is out there for you guys to just go out there and take it by the horns and just succeed and implement and be intentional with that type of information and network with other people that are doing what you guys want to be doing. That's why this Elephant Challenge exists. Like Chris said, for you guys to come in here with literally no money, no education, no knowledge, no nothing, and be surrounded by an entire community of people that are trying to do the same thing and that are at different chapters in the book at different levels. And we have resources like this where you guys can come in and hang out with Chris and I on the Elephant Show, because it kind of coincides with the Elephant Challenge. And we, like Chris said, we talk about a lot of the stuff that is going on in the Elephant Challenge. We talk about mindset things. We talk about comping. We talk about ARV. We talk about the bottlenecks in your business and how you can kind of think about things a little bit differently and take action on things a little bit differently. And Luke is one of those guys. Where's Luke at? Luke is one of these guys who has taken just absolute and massive action. 100%. It was awesome. We probably got connected, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago now, probably. And Luke he hit me up, he shot me a text, and he introduced himself, and he's like, Jesse, I am super excited, and I'm really excited to get my first offer in next week. And so we hopped on a Zoom, and we said, Luke, that's amazing. First and foremost, thank you for being here. Thank you for even showing up and taking action, because that's more than 99% of people do. As you guys could probably notice, more people are more curious than they are committed. Not necessarily in this group, but just when you're making this shift from, whatever your W-2 is, into more of an entrepreneurial mindset. People get on TikTok, they get on Instagram, they see the Lamborghinis, they see all these kind of different things, right? And once they jump in and they start finding out that, hey, you actually got to work at this. You have to be intentional with your time. Nobody's telling you to wake your ass up early in the morning. Nobody's cheering you on. You have to be the one to get out here and put the work in. And it's neat because you guys can come in here and do this together and as a community, and there's accountability and there's resources. There's really no reason for anybody in here to not be making money, other than if you're just not getting out there and being intentional with your time. Navi, thank you so much. Really appreciate the kind words, guys. Thank you. One of the big topics that Chris and I want to be talking about today is feeling lost. Can anybody else resonate with that? Put that in the comment if you guys are feeling just kind of a lost right now. With all this information, Pace is doing a phenomenal job. This is awesome. I can't believe that he pulled something like this and put something like this together. This is it's really neat. Like Chris and I have said before, something like this didn't exist when him and I got into real estate. And so it's neat to have a community with all of these benefits where you guys can come in here and just succeed. And if you guys are feeling overwhelmed, if you guys are feeling lost, that's good, because that means you guys are taking action. It means that you guys are doing things that you don't quite have the answers yet to. So how do you find those answers? You don't find those answers if you're not seeking them. A little overwhelmed, not gonna lie. Dude, I have been there, or dudette.
Absolutely.
Whichever one. So really quick, guys, really quick. We got a couple people that are chiming in here. Thank you guys very much. Facebook user. You guys, if you guys can scroll to the top, I don't know where you're seeing. I'm assuming you guys are watching this in the creative group. So if you kind of scroll, if you see just above where this is being live at, there's a link, and it says something along the lines of, click this link to allow PropStream to have access to your Facebook name or something like that. So if you go ahead and click that link and just grant permission, that way when you guys chime in here, you guys can see your name on your end, but on our end, when we highlight you like this, it just says Facebook user. So go ahead and click that link just above it and grant Facebook or StreamYard permission to share your name. We'd love to highlight you guys and have a conversation with you guys.
Nicole, 100%. Jesse and I, we feel overwhelmed day by day, right? It's just a matter of how you handle it. It really all depends. Like, let me just say this: there's not a single person in this world who's 100% happy all the time. There's not a single
I'm pretty
person.
close.
There's not, and literally feeling lost is okay. It's really okay, but we don't want you to stay there. We don't want you to stay there, and there's a lot of different things you can go to, and or just read about what's going on in your personal life. Maybe we got to start with let's be grateful for what we have right now. And I think that really starts there to the fact of, could it be a worse situation? Could you be homeless? Could you be in a situation where you're behind on bills, whatever that may look like? And then maybe people there are. That's okay. I've been there. I'm not saying, I'm not judging. I'm not anything. We all have been there. But be grateful and humble for what you have. And if you're feeling lost, especially in the real estate industry or just in life in general, really geared towards what you really want to achieve in life. Are you okay working a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life for the next 50, 60, 70, 80 years, whatever that looks like? If that's the case, do it. Do it better than anyone in that office. But if you're looking to go into real estate and you really think you have no direction, you really do. It starts with writing down your goals, setting expectations for your goals, tasking those specific goals out, and tasking out to where it's so specific, you know exactly to the time and day you're going to make it happen. And one thing that people don't realize, you can't just say, "Oh, I want to have $1 million by." I just want to have $1 million, right? People always say, I want to have $1 million, or I want to have $100,000. But at the same time, you really, how are you going to get that $1 million? You really got to write that stuff down. You can't just in your mind vision it, right? And I do want to say, when you vision stuff, it's a reason why you're visioning stuff. That because it's achievable. Surround yourself with the right people, you can make it happen. Jesse and I got to where we are because, one, we wrote down our tasks. We understood exactly what our goals are, and we took the bull by the horn and just ran with it. We kept the blinders on, and we just literally ran with it. And a lot of people don't understand. Like Jesse and I, we closed a lot of deals. We actually got a flip going on in Alaska, which we're going to be listing very, very soon. That's going to be a 6-figure deal for us. 6 figures. And a lot of people, like, we're pretty confident that the numbers are amazing. They're going to work out. But once that closes, don't settle. A lot of people settle when they get their first deal or second deal or 100 deal. Jesse and I are probably guaranteed to make literally over $1 million next year. Guaranteed. No ifs or buts about it. Net.
We're looking for more igloos. We're not just settling on the one, for sure.
Literally, what people got to understand, literally, if you have a goal, just please write it down. Have that expectation. Surround yourself with the right people. Don't surround yourself and people. You got to understand, the people that you're hanging around right now, that's really your net worth. Let's be fully transparent. If you like to go out drinking every weekend, or you like to go out and go day drinking, whatever that may look like specifically, you surround yourself around those individuals. That's really where you're becoming who you are. Versus a lot of people think, myself and Jesse, we travel a lot. We travel, not because we want to, like in regards to like pleasure. It's more business, networking, and understanding. Like we're going to network to go through a lot of different opportunities and open a lot of different doors, not just for us, but for other people that's within our business. We have an operation within Third Mind REI, which is the name of our company, which we have got to make sure a lot of people are taken care of. We have an acquisitions team, we have a dispositions team within our specific business, and they have to be taken care of, and they have families to feed as well. What we're doing right now, Jesse and I, we already know that for a fact. We're going to change our family's life, like legacy. I can speak right now. Sorry. And the fact of, Jesse got a whole army in Alaska right now. And those who know, he's truly in Alaska. I know we joke a lot, but he literally resides in Alaska.
I'm physically here.
Well, he has an entire family. And at the end of the day, I have a family as well. He got 4 kids, 2 Yorkies, a wife, and all that good stuff. And, I have to worry about making sure they're taken care of. So part of our business, we got to make sure our families and our families probably don't even know what we're really doing on a day-to-day basis. They just know they're working too much. But at the end of the day, things are going to change. We're going to be the first within our families to change the legacy. We're going to first to break that cycle of, hitting $80,000 or $100,000 a year is the goal. That is not the goal for us. That's for Jesse and I, that's a disservice for what we're really trying to achieve. And literally, I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on our podcast. I can't remember exactly what day, but I just want to say, like, literally, like making $5,000-$10,000 a month is great. It's great. But can you really survive off that and be financially free? And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, it sounds like a lot of money. And once you actually hit that mark of $5,000-$10,000, it's not a lot of money. It's really not. And then we break the cycle where people are working 9 to 5s. They're making $40,000-$50,000 a year, and that's great for them. That's comfortable. But imagine receiving a check per month for $40,000-$50,000 a year. That's difference. And I'm not speaking because I haven't been through it. It's just reality. This is something that Jesse and I literally just experienced a couple months ago. Literally experienced. And it's just the fact of, I want people to open their mind up to understand that feeling lost is okay. But at the same time, what are you going to do when you actually really feel lost? What is the next steps? What does that really look like? And once you actually really determine exactly what that feels like, you know exactly what the feeling is. Because at the end of the day, like, people get this gut feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm nervous, or I can't do this, or because of specifically. A perfect example, actually. I was talking to an individual last week. I'm not going to say her name, but I was talking to her, and she specifically told me that I want to quit my job, but I can't. If you have that mindset, if you can't quit your job, you're going to be there for the next 10 to 15 years working for whoever you're working for. And versus if she would have changed her verbiage or her mindset where I'm going to quit my job in 3 months, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And a lot of people don't understand that literally that's the way you got to just change it. The mindset is really powerful. And Luke, 100%, very powerful. And once you start internally understanding exactly what you need to do to actually get there. And Jesse, one thing I love about this guy, he brings this up. Actually, I do want you to explain this, the example about your family. Like, what would you do to get them back? Could you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like Chris said, guys, I think mindset is literally everything. There's a saying, if you give yourself 30 days to clean your house, guess what? It's going to take you 30 days to clean your house. If you give yourself 3 days to clean your house, it's going to take you 3 days.
Yeah.
It's all up to you. It's all what you decide. And so when it comes to feeling lost, you guys aren't really as lost as you think you are. Okay. And I promise you that. And I know that sounds so obtuse to say. You're like, all right, Yeah, but they don't know what it's like to be me and my shoes and my circumstances and my job and my schedule and my family. And like, dude, I get it. 90% of millionaires are self-made. It's probably fair to say that we've all been through the same stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? We all get it. I live in Alaska. I'm 4 hours behind everybody else. I mean, that in and of itself, oh my gosh. Right? What a mindset struggle. I mean, there's like if you guys, everybody else who's like in Phoenix and in California and in Texas and Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas and all these, everywhere else, you got all these big investor meetups. Guess what? Jesse doesn't have that. Imagine like you guys have no idea like the mindset crap that I had to go through to get over that and to be able to just push myself to stay consistent. I mean, little things like that, right? So my point being is like, we've all got our own story. Okay. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, it's all right here. You are literally, how you perceive yourself and what you think you're capable of is the only crap that's keeping you from moving forward. Okay. Now, think about this for a second. If you get home from work and you're like, man, kids got dance recitals. My wife's got to work tonight. I've got kids. My youngest is a 1-year-old. My blah, 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 right? Whatever you guys' circumstances are. Think about it like this. Think about this scenario. Imagine your family was kidnapped. Imagine your kids were kidnapped. Your wife was kidnapped. How would you feel? How would that make you feel? And when you look down at your list of goals that you guys have right now, and goal setting is something that Chris and I are going to get into. We're going to do an entire Zoom here in probably a week or two on goal setting for this new next year for you guys. Now, look at the goals that you guys have right now. Look at the things you're trying to do by the end of the year. We got a few weeks left, and we've got an entire year to get set up for. You guys should already be thinking about the things that you're doing right now is what's going to affect first quarter of next year. Okay, so look at your guys' goals. Now, imagine that your family was kidnapped. Your entire family. If you don't have a wife and kids, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your siblings, maybe whatever. Somebody that's important to you. Okay, imagine that they were kidnapped. You get home from work and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got all of these things going on. I just don't have time to make phone calls or work on a business. I don't have time to comp a property. I've only got 10 minutes so I can to make a phone call to a realtor. That's not enough time. I've got an entire house that needs to be cleaned up. Whatever it is that you guys have on your plate or in your life that's keeping you from making that phone call or from getting on the computer or making that, having that Zoom meeting, whatever it is. What if those kidnappers who kidnapped your family, what if they said, look, the only way that you get your family back is if you accomplish one of those short-term goals? Now think about it from that perspective for a second. What would you be willing to do at that point? All those excuses that you were giving yourself. I'm tired. I've got this going on. My house is dirty. I have to sleep 8 hours. I don't work on the weekends. Is it fair to say that all of that would no longer be an excuse for you and you would figure out a way to make it happen? That's the mindset that 90% of these people who are self-made millionaires have. And that's why they've gotten to that position that they're in. Because they're no longer giving themselves the excuse of, I need 8 hours of sleep. I need 6 hours of sleep. I can't get up at 3 a.m. Really? You can't? When you think about it from that perspective now, you can accomplish it. Until now, though, the price just hasn't been right. So I want to give you guys something to think about real quick. If you guys are feeling lost, that's perfect. If you guys are feeling lost, if you guys are feeling anxious, if you guys are feeling like, man, this is like drinking out of a firehouse, I have no idea. I have no idea where to start. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're not getting it, if you're feeling like you're not getting traction, guess what, guys? That's what winning looks like. And I'm not just shitting you. I'm not kidding you, okay? That's what winning looks like. If you're feeling like that, if you're feeling lost and feeling like you don't have all the answers, that's what winning freaking looks like. And if you don't recognize it, that's okay. It just means that you're not used to winning yet. And that's okay. Because that's why we're here. That's why we have the elephant show. That's why Pace has the elephant challenge. That's why these things exist. So we can get in here and we can learn how to fail so that we can learn how to do it better. There's an amazing book. It's by the same guys who wrote Who Not How, coincidentally. Dan Sullivan. I got it right, Chris. It's called The Gap and the Gain. Amazing book. Amazing book. It was recommended by a really good friend of mine. His name is Adam. And he put this book club together earlier this year. And that was the book that we all read together. And it was phenomenal. I encourage everybody here to get it. It's called The Gap and the Gain. And it's interesting because it really outlines a lot of the stuff that we're talking about right here. It really showcases what winning is and what losing is, and how your mindset plays such a big part in how you perceive things and whether you're getting traction and actually moving forward. And once you recognize that, like, everything changes. So even if your business or your efforts haven't manifested themselves from a monetary standpoint, you guys are still freaking winning. Everything that you're going through, that's legit what winning freaking looks like. You're not failing, you're not losing. That's what winning looks like. So let me give you an example. I actually had something happen to me this week that I'm going to share with you guys. And I want to kind of showcase how much your mindset plays such an important part into what we're talking about right now when feeling lost and overwhelmed. A year ago, a little over a year ago, about 13 months ago, 14 months ago, something like that. For those of you guys who've been following us, you probably know that I used to be active duty Air Force, and I went to a friend's retirement ceremony late last year. Like I said, it was probably 13, 14 months ago or so. And I went there and I spoke at it, and we went and stayed on his parents. His parents had a house over at Carolina Beach, I think it was. And so we're sitting there and we're having a good time and all these things. We're catching up because we haven't talked to each other in 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. And it was interesting because the 3 or 4 days that I was hanging out with them, and I love these guys, a lot of the same stuff, the conversation hadn't changed at all. I'm pivoting and I'm trying to figure out, how to do all these things and how to make all this money and all these different things and help people. And I'm trying to share that with these guys. But it was interesting because they all wanted to talk shit on everybody else that we used to work with 10 years ago. Like, it was like, oh, remember this time this happened and this time this happened. And oh man, that guy's an idiot and blah, 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 blah. Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it was the first time in my life, because I'm up here in Alaska, right? So there isn't a whole lot of like these meetups and different interactions and things like that going on. This is kind of more or less just real estate has just been my life for the last several years. And this was kind of the first time that I went and hung out with somebody intentionally that wasn't a real estate thing. And it was just a big light bulb that went off, because I'm sitting here thinking, as we're having these conversations, my first thought was, oh, wow, these guys have changed. But you know what? It wasn't them that changed. It was me. It was my mindset, my personal development, my growth, how I thought about win and how I thought about failing and the things that I wanted to do and accomplish. And everybody else was just kind of stuck in the past. And so it was neat because it was a really huge epiphany that the things that I was doing, the things that I was taking action on, the things that I was telling myself, the things I was manifesting in my life, the books that I was reading, the podcasts that I was listening to, the conversations that I was having, it's been different. And it's elevated me into being more of the person that I'm meant to be, that I'm capable of being. So all of this to say, this week we had a pretty big event in our family this week. On Tuesday, my wife and myself, my 1-year-old and my 3-year-old got in a car wreck on Tuesday, and it totaled our car. And it was the scariest thing in the world. For any of you who are parents, you guys can probably imagine. I I got the least banged up out of everybody. My wife got it pretty bad. My kids got seatbelt rash and all sorts of things going. But my point being is that it was interesting because going through this, my entire mindset has been like, wow, I'm sore. My wife is sore. My kids are sore. But we're alive. Oh my gosh. What an amazing thing to wake up and to be sore as shit. I love that. And it was just such a neat experience for me. And I just share those two stories because it was a realization, even for me again this week, waking up and that being my automatic mindset of doing and being what Chris is talking about, expressing gratitude, living every single day in gratitude. My kids are alive. We've got somewhere to come home to. Yeah, we got to go buy a new car now. But everybody's alive. My family's alive. We're good. I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful for it. And so that book, The Gap and the Gain, is just a mindset shift. And it really shows you and outlines different perspectives and ways on thinking about things that until something like this happens in your life, you really don't see the growth until you look back and you're like, wow. So I didn't monetize on any of this, right? But I see the growth. I'm becoming a different person. And all of these little changes that I've made to myself over the last couple of years have compounded. They've snowballed. I've become an entirely different person, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So all of this to say, guys, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like you haven't monetized or done a deal or anything yet, good. That's the way it should be. But that doesn't mean that you're not making headway. It doesn't mean that you're not growing. It doesn't mean that you're not winning. So much to be grateful for. I appreciate everybody being here with us. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for spending your time with Chris and I. And thanks for doing this and getting in the comments. Thank you guys all for the comments. I really appreciate it. But we're all live. We're here and we're here to be better next week.
Absolutely. And that's just a true testament, right? That truly, like, life is really too short. You never know. So everything you're stressing about, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just let it go. Be grateful for the life you have. Be grateful for where you at in your life. And only go up. Don't think about the negative. If you really can't control it, well, why are you stressing yourself out? Life is really too short. And yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jesse.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you.
But yeah, guys, appreciate everyone being here. Definitely appreciate it. Jesse didn't have to be there. He could have been with his family right now, making sure they're okay. But obviously he's here, making sure, he's still giving value back to the community. And that's one thing that we're here for. We want to make sure you guys are definitely receiving the value. And Luke, 100%, is powerful. It's very powerful for what he just stated. It's a true testament of actually proof that life happens, whether we see it or not. It's just how we actually overcome it or go through that situation and move forward. Side note, Facebook user people, please grant StreamYard access so we can see your name. We'd like to know who we're speaking to. But absolutely, again, Jesse, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Always about trust and having gratitude. Jesse and I were very grateful for what we have in our business and our businesses. There's a lot of things that's coming in 2023 that literally no one knows about that we're truly excited about, and it's only up for us. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be obstacles that comes in our way, and there's going to be a lot of different things where we just have to navigate and get through it. But that's what we want. We want to experience those specific objectives or whatever that may be at that time, because as we build teams and we build we're going to, start hiring more employees and all this good stuff. We want to make sure they're taken care of and know how to handle these obstacles and ejections that come their way. So absolutely. What's going on, Reginald? Good to see you here. So yeah.
I can't tell if I went out or if Chris went out, guys. Who's paused right now? Is it me or is it Chris?
I'm back.
Chris is out. He's back.
I think I'm back. There you go.
Bobby May, I went and had dinner with her and her amazing husband last night, and we talked a little bit.
Okay.
You guys, Bobby May is brand new to our group and our community. We had some dinner last night, actually, and I invited her to come in here and to network with some other people. She's looking to connect with 10 other people this week. So if there's anybody else who would love to reach out and share what your experience is so far and what you guys are working on and all that kind of fun stuff, please reach out to Bobby. I know she's looking to connect with 10 people this week.
Good to see you, Bobby. Oscar, what's going on, man? So yeah, I do kind of want to talk about just more so if you're really feeling lost, I would like to, have a conversation with you guys and see exactly what that looks like. We can either have that conversation live and be a little bit more intimate, or we can send out our Calendly link and we can book a call and have that conversation. We personally know what it feels to be lost. We personally know that it's a lot to take in. There's 101 ways to go within real estate and make a lot of money. It's just a matter of specifically which direction you want to go, what works for you, and what actually you're excited to do. There's a lot of people that was literally just get into the industry of real estate because great, the money is, I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. Jesse and I don't want to be rich. We want to be financially wealthy, and we have a underlying objective that we're trying to achieve. It's not always about the money. It's great to have the money, right? It's phenomenal. Perfect example, literally closed the deal 3 weeks ago, received a check for $19,500. I could have just marinated and settled, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna just take a cool off. But no, we continue on with our business and we still got more problems we got to solve within, the sellers or the listing agents, whoever we're dealing with. There's a lot of people that need our help. There's a lot of people that need our help. Jesse and I just had a conversation with our rest of our team the other day in our business meeting. And it was a comment that was made, not within our business, but someone made on another podcast about taking Christmas week off and all this other stuff. And literally that's where a lot of money is to be made. And not just money. A lot of people are still going through their troubles. I guarantee if I walk up this office right now and go down to a house, somebody's in trouble and need our help. And we can solve that creatively. There's 101 different ways we can solve people's problems that a lot of people who just traditionally wholesale can't do. They can't do. They can't perform loan modifications. They can't perform novations. They can't perform subtels, hotels. They can't perform note investings. They can't do a lot of different things that we can do. And one thing that, I'm not saying like you have to work 365 days a week. I mean, a year and all this other stuff. I'm just saying like ultimately there's still homeowners that need our help. They're still going through stuff, even during the holidays. There's people right now, like every day I wake up and smile. I really wake up and smile like everything's going to be okay. And when people talk to me how things are going amazing. It truly are. I'm alive. Like, what can I really be? Really, I can't have a negative mindset. I just can't. Where I'm at in my life, I can't. And I can't be around those negative people or just be in that negative space because I'm only going to hold myself back. And then that's where people start feeling alone. When you start feeling lost, lonely, or whatever that may look like, that's when the negative things come about. You start talking about people. You start doing this. You start doing that. You start worrying about, why this person's doing this and I can't do it. No, work on you. Work on you and understand exactly what you are good at, and then find other people around you that you're in the same space. Like perfect example, Pace is doing multifamily next week. If you want to do if you want to get into multifamily, that is a perfect Zoom or challenge to get into. No offense or buts about it. If you want to get into short-term rentals, find somebody that's into short-term rentals, that not just like short-term rentals, that's actually doing it and excelling at it. It's the difference. You can like something and not be good at it. Make sure they're excelling at it and then work with them. You just got to understand that literally you can't do 8 different things at one time. You can't. You're going to overwhelm yourself.
I would say that's a big, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
I'd say that's a big issue why people are feeling lost. Why they're feeling like they don't have any traction. Would you agree, Chris?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Chris and I have one-on-one Zooms with everybody, with a lot of people, maybe 30, 40 hours a week worth of just one-on-one Zooms. And we're very intentional with that time. Okay, think about that for a second, guys. 30 to 40 hours a week with just networking. That's a full-time job. Okay, now we're not sitting on a computer for 8 hours a day. Like everything. I mean, we are in some instances, but they're not all like just back-to-back 8 hours worth of freaking Zooms and stuff all day. You know what I mean? Like it's broken up. It's very intentional. It's time blocked. But one of the big things that we have seen is exactly what Chris is talking about right now. You have to stay hyper-focused. You have to focus on one stinking thing. Become the Michael Jordan at one thing. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. And we use this example all the time because it's the same thing that we see all the time.
Absolutely.
Is people want to get started in real estate. They want to start wholesaling. They want to start doing all these things. And they get 2 weeks into it. They're really excited. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, they don't know, what's going on or why they haven't made any traction or anything like that. So they start flipping through Facebook or Instagram, right? And then they start seeing, people, hey, just had a sale here. Hey, just got this under contract. Hey, I just collected a $50,000 wholesale fee. And so what does everybody do? Everyone gets in the comments and like, oh my gosh, what did this person do? What do you do to collect 50 grand? I want to do that. And come to find out, maybe this person was door knocking. And so now they quit calling agents. They quit submitting offers. And they're like, this doesn't work. I need to go door knocking. So then they go door knocking. And they spend 2-3 weeks door knocking, getting the door slammed in their face, being told to F off. Maybe you got a gunpoint, depending on where you live. And they're like, well, this doesn't work for me. And then they see somebody else who collected another wholesale fee, or did another deal. And they're like, oh my gosh, what did this person do? Well, this person got was out building relationships with probate attorneys, or they're driving for dollars virtually, or whatever it is. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sick of people slamming the door in my face. So I'm going to go get on Google Maps and I'm going to go drive for dollars virtually, or I'm going to start calling probate attorneys. And they start skipping all over the place, and they're not consistent with one thing. So if you guys are feeling lost, if you guys are feeling like you don't have the traction that you need, one of the big things that we keep talking about all the time is focus on one thing. Become the Michael Jordan of that one thing, guys, and hyper focus into it. Okay, me and Chris, our other business partner, Colin, we do a lot of different things in Third Mind. We have we can work with you. We can do acquisitions. We can do dispo. We have PML. We do TC work. We literally do everything. We're real estate in a box. And as of recently, we actually just became a bank, like a legit bank. Like we have a loan officer that works underneath us and everything. He underwrites, DSCR loans and fix and flip loans and construction loans and bridge loans, all these other kinds of different things. But Chris and I don't do that. Chris and I still only do one thing. But we built our business going back to that book, right? Off of who, not how. I don't have to know how loans work. I don't want to know how loans work. Chris and myself, yeah, we can underwrite. Do we like to do it? Not really. Not a good use of our time. We can go get 10 times more deals. And so our other partner, Colin, does a lot of our underwriting. We can underwrite it. We can comp. We can do all these things. Do we like to do it? No. It's not a good use of mine and Chris's time. So Colin did that. So Chris and I and Colin, we all have our one thing that we do, and we brought other people into our business to work with, to make money with. That's the fastest way to scale. And it's interesting because all three of us are visionaries, as a matter of fact. We don't have an integrator partner, but it goes back to mindset. We don't need an integrator partner. because we all bring something different to the table, but we're all willing to do whatever it takes in order to be successful. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. I'm doing all these things on my end to make sure that Chris and his family are taken care of, to make sure that Colin and his family are taken care of. And both of those guys are doing the same thing for me and my family. But it all comes back to mindset. That's why Chris and I just hound so much on being intentional with your time and mindset and understanding things from a very different perspective. That even if something isn't manifesting as fast as you want, even if it's not, you're not collecting a paycheck as fast as you want, guys, you're still winning. I had a conversation with somebody, I won't say his name, but he's in the Elephant Challenge, and his goal was to find a deal that we can work together during the month of November. And come December 1st, he shot me a text and he was like, hey, you know what? I failed. Like I feel so bad. Like I feel like I didn't get where I wanted to go, and I wanted to work with you guys on a deal, and this was my goal, and it just didn't manifest itself. And so we hopped on a call, I think it was yesterday, and we kind of broke down what did he do last month. And I gave him some tips and things that he should be doing differently and start spending his time focusing on one thing and being intentional on one thing and finding other people to come in and do things and to make money with. And that's the fastest way to scale. So he can start spending his time being the Michael Jordan at one thing. Absolutely, Nicole. Absolutely. So if you guys are feeling lost, I can guarantee a big portion of that is because you guys are spreading yourself so thin, trying to get into Privy, trying to learn Privy, trying to understand how to filter it best, trying to run, comps, trying to have to figure out what the ARV is, the rehab estimates. And then you've got to listen to the calls and start learning how to negotiate with the agents and negotiate with the sellers and submit LOIs and talk to and communicate with title companies. And then you've got to go find all your buyers, and you've got to build a list of buyers, and you've got to maintain a relationship with buyers while you're reaching out and doing all these other things. Like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. Could you imagine if the quarterback had to hike his own ball, and then he had to, block, and then he had to throw a ball to himself, and then, you know what I mean? Like, that's what? You imagine if a quarterback had to do everything? Crazy, right? It wouldn't happen. Business is no different. If you guys are a visionary, like for instance, like myself and like Chris is, one of the things that I did specifically, I didn't worry about paperwork when I was first getting started. I didn't worry about understanding how to find buyers. I didn't worry about any of this other stuff. The only thing that I focused on was simply trying to be the Michael Jordan of closing deals. I wanted when people, thank you, Aaron. It's so good to see you. I love Aaron. Aaron is amazing, by the way, guys. If you guys haven't connected with Aaron, I would definitely reach out to Aaron right now and shoot her a PM and connect with her. She is freaking dope. Thank you for being here, Aaron. Love you. But you got to be really intentional with your time. If you're a visionary and you love closing deals and communicating and building relationships and doing that side of the business, then that's what you need to focus on. You should be time blocking time in your day for reading books. Learn how the sales process actually is. Sales isn't what most people think it is. When people think of salesmen, they think of, people at a car dealership, and they're just hounding you, and they're like, hey, if we can get you down here at this price, I need you to sign on the line and blah, 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 blah. That's not what sales is, guys. That's not at all what sales is. Contrary to popular belief, what most salesmen think sales is, if you ask anybody, including most salesmen, to sell you this pen, they're going to grab this pen and they're going to start articulating everything about the pen. It's got this amazing cap. It writes in space. It has 6 different colors. It has this amazing pen grip and blah, 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 blah. It's going to write forever, right? They start trying to sell you. That's not what sales is. And when you start taking the time to break down those little intricacies of the communication process, how to articulate yourself, how to persuade somebody, how to paint a picture, how to tell stories, how to do all these different things, you put the blinders on. You don't worry about what anybody else on Facebook is doing. You're not sitting there consuming content and learning about lease options when it's irrelevant. Right. You focus on one thing. You time block, and you focus on one thing. You spend time block an hour out of your day. Go read the book. You can't. What is it? You can't teach a kid to ride a bike is it a bicycle or something? You can't teach a kid to ride a bicycle at a seminar. Amazing book about learning sales. Time block an hour out of your day. Go read that book. Take notes, because it's going to give you different perspectives. It's going to give you different, one-liners, open-ended questions, things to consider, things to ask. And it's going to show you how to move that conversation down the sales funnel. It's going to teach you what sales really is. And if you're intentional with that, you'll take sticky notes like I did, And if it gave me an idea about how to pitch something or how to articulate something or an open-ended question to ask or something like that, I would write that down on a sticky note and I put it right here on my desk. And then I would booked out, 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever out of my day during this time. And I'm just designated this time only to making calls. And then when I would make calls, I have all of these sticky notes on my desk with all these one-liners that I can sit here and use while I'm on the phone talking to them.
We got a couple comments. What's the name of the book again, Jesse?
You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. I know it's kind of a mouthful. don't judge a book by its cover on that one for sure.
Absolutely.
There is fortune in your focus. 100%. Record your phone calls, guys. And then guess what? Time block time in your day to go back and listen to those phone calls. It's kind of like similar. It's similar to the same. You guys can probably all resonate with this. Have you ever gotten in an argument with somebody and then they just got the best of you? And you're sitting there, you get in your car, maybe it was at work or something, you're on your car, you're driving home, and you're just stewing about it. You're just thinking about it, man. That really set you off. They got the best of you. There was other people there. They were listening. They were laughing. And you're just sitting there thinking about it, right? You're stewing about it. You get home, you're pissed off. You're cooking dinner thinking about it. You lay your head on your pillow at night. You're looking up at the ceiling, and you're just sitting there thinking about it. And then guess what? Boom! You're like, son of a gun. That's what I should have said, right? You just all of a sudden get this epiphany, and you're like, damn it. That's what I should have freaking said. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. When you guys record your calls and you start listening, when you get in the car, dude, go listen to your recorded phone calls. And when the seller or an agent or somebody asks you a question, pause it right there and stew on it. Think about it. Go ask somebody else. Hit me and Chris up. Hey, guys, I got asked this question. I got asked this objection. I have no idea what to say. Can you give me a different perspective? What would you guys say? Because what you're going to come to find out, guys, is it's the same conversation every single time. Whether it's realtors or whether it's a sellers, it's going to be the same conversation. It's going to be the same objections. It's not going to be like this big infinite thing where you guys have to die. I think that's probably why it makes it so mountainous. Would you say, Chris? People jump into it and they think, I got to be a ninja. I don't have no idea how the conversation is going to go.
Absolutely. Just have a conversation. Just literally just have a normal conversation. Be yourself. That is it.
That's it, guys. And it's the same objections, same conversation every single time. I always spend 10 minutes talking about Alaska because people are like, what? Alaska? Isn't that like on Mars or something? So it's the same conversation every time. But if you're intentional with your guys' time, put the freaking blinders on. Don't be scrolling on Facebook. Don't be sitting there consuming content. If your goal, just as an example, like I said, like mine was to be the Michael Jordan of closing, then that's how dedicated you guys is. You need to. Your entire schedule should be time blocked around you increasing your knowledge, your education, your skill set. So when somebody needs help closing a deal, they're like, oh, you know what? Jesse or Chris, those guys are closers. Let me reach out to them and help them. Or see how they can help me. Just one thing, guys. If you guys can focus on one thing, I think that is going to alleviate a lot of the feeling like you are lost. Chris, would you agree? Anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree either more, man. 100%. Like literally, it just gears back to specifically. Stop dwelling on the past. Stop dwelling on others or what they're doing. Really focus on what you're doing or what you want, what you're trying to achieve in life. Once you figure that out, everything started to come together. You have a community behind us. Not just literally, you got over 60,000 people within the Creative Finance Group. But then you have about 7,000 sub-2 students. You got about 150 to 200, mastermind students who can also assist you in whatever you need. Utilize this as a resource. This is what we're here for. I see people in the comments right there. There's about 80 of us watching right now, and they're squatting up. I love that. Nicole, you're great at squatting up, and that's why Nicole, she's a phenomenal leader. She's a phenomenal leader. And Facebook user, please give StreamYard access to view, visualize your name, please. Jesse, Facebook user, did you start with focusing on mastering, closing, and or where are some of the others to look and to focus on? See, that's where we gotta. You don't mind if I answer this, Jesse, do you?
Please.
So that's a two-part answer, right? It's more so understanding exactly not what we are doing, more so what you want to do. So Facebook user, I wish I knew who I was speaking to right now, but I want to ask you specifically, what are you good at? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a closer? Do you want to be do you want to be an integrator? There's so many different things that a lot of people don't want to do. A lot of people, I personally, I don't like comping. Do I know how to comp? I can do it very well, but we have somebody else that does that for us. That's within our business. It really focuses on what you really want to do. Jesse and I, we like communicating with sellers. We like talking to agents. We like talking to people, networking, and going through other opportunities, and creating this great atmosphere to bring back to you guys and let you guys know how to get there, and or be a valuable resource from us. There's a lot of different opportunities out there, but Facebook user, I wish I could answer your question very, very thoroughly, but I really can't because I don't understand who or the type of person you are. I don't know if you're greener looking for your first deal and or specifically just asking just a broad question. I think this is the same person. I want to be a closer. If you want to be a closer, okay, phenomenal. There's a lot of different ways you could be a closer. I think there's a lot of content out there from Pace Morby on YouTube. There's a lot of content out there. It just a lot of people, when they look at the specific content of Pace Morby, they want to mirror Pace Morby, and you can't do that. If there was there's a million.
Why can't they do that, Chris?
Because we're not Pace Morby. But
there you go.
It just literally specifically, you have to be yourself. You really have to be yourself. That's the only way you're going to be able to really have a genuine conversation. And a lot of people think we're talking to agents or talking to sellers. You're building rapport by, how many cats you have in a house or how many dogs. They don't give a damn about none of that. They don't give two shits about that. But at the same time, they build rapport by being yourself and creating credibility. Likable individuals when you're on the phone. And if you don't know something, it's okay. Tell them you don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know that answer right now, but I would have to reach out to my other business partner, Jesse, and get that information. Whatever the communication looks like, but it's okay. It is totally okay. And if you always lead where you're trying to understand the seller or the agent's situation, you will go further in life. Instead of just saying, okay, I want to make $15,000 on this deal. Before we talk to the agent or the seller, how much do you think we're going to make? Well, I don't want to make nothing with you.
Guys, do not approach somebody like that.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. A lot of our deals, actually 99% of our deals, actually I just thought about all of our deals that we ever done in over 14 states, virtually, we always solved their situation. Whatever the pain they were in, whatever they were going through, we always fixed it and always had a resolution for it. No ifs or buts about it. Before we even started talking about money or how much we're going to make on it, whether we're buying it ourselves, whether we're going to wholesale it out, whatever that looked like, we always made sure we solve their problem. And that's why a lot of the wholesalers out there don't survive. They probably I'm gonna say, well, what's the average? By 3 to 6 months, maybe a year. They'll get by, but they wonder why they're not really where they should be in life. And that kind of gears back to, it's okay to be lost, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Don't dwell. If you can't control it in regards to what's happening in your life, like for instance, if you're behind on a bill, if you're in a situation where your car broke down, things happen for a reason. It really does. We don't want it to happen, but it really happened for a reason. I'm a firm believer that timing is everything. I'm a firm believer that specifically that I'm going to receive what I'm going to receive when it's ready. A lot of people want a hand-me-down. They want a hand-me-down. You have to work for it. And one thing about it is just not your right time to receive what you're going to receive. A lot of people want to shoot for $100,000 a month. Is that doable? 1,000%. but maybe it's not your time to receive that because maybe you don't know how to handle that type of money right now.
Dude, I love that. I love that. It's really true what Chris said. And when people used to say that to me, when people used to say things happen for a reason, I used to like let's say my car got a flat or something. And let's say I was late for work, just off the top of my head as an example. When people used to say, well, things happen for a reason, my thought process used to be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, maybe, it's God looking out for me. Maybe I would have gotten a wreck. Maybe something like this would have happened. And maybe that's true. But also, maybe God's trying to teach me something. Maybe God's trying to teach me patience. Maybe God's trying to teach me how to problem solve under pressure. I'm late for work. I've got this going on at work. I've got all this stuff. You know what? You're sitting here trying to build a multi-million-dollar freaking company, and you getting a flat tire and being late for work is stressing you out. So what do you have to learn in just those little lessons like that? How can you change your mindset? And it's something that's just so minute and an everyday occurrence that's going to change how you operate, how you think about things. Like Chris said, a lot of people, want to be a closer like Pace Morby and they want to do it the way that Pace Morby does. You can't, because guess what? You're not Pace, and you're not Chris, and you're not me. We all have our own ways of doing things. And Kurt Cobain said it best, actually. He said, wanting to be somebody else is a waste of the person that you are. Because the way that Chris does something, the way that I do something, and the way that you do something are all different. And there's going to be, I firmly believe, everybody has gifts. Absolutely. Everybody has certain strengths, certain gifts, certain things that they are good at. It could be, maybe you are an extremely compassionate person. Maybe you can relate to a lot of different people in a lot of different circumstances because you have that life experience, or maybe just being you. There's going to be people in this business that you will reach out to and that you will impact their lives simply because of the gifts that you have and the person that you are, that nobody else could have impacted or helped that person simply because they were not you. So you wanting to be somebody else is a complete waste of the person that you are, the gifts that you have, and the skills and things that you bring to the table. So you owe it to yourself to get in there and to take advantage of this and be aware of that. Take action on it. Be intentional with it. Focus on that one thing. Learn what that one thing is. And you need to become the Michael Jordan of that one thing.
Absolutely. And guys, you can always reach out. Feel free to reach out. There's no right or wrong way of going about it. It's more so understanding what you really want to do. It really gears back to that. I can't tell Navi, hey, you're going to do this, this, and this. I can't. She has to understand what she really wants to do. I don't know if she has 19 kids she got to feed or she got one kid. I don't know. And I'm just using that example because we just had a meeting with her. I do know her story, but I'm just bringing that up, give an example. But more so, just really, I have my objectives. I have my goals. I have my tasks I really want to achieve on a daily basis, and a weekly and a yearly basis. And and every single body in this world have their own agenda. Just please follow what you really want to do and not what somebody else wants to do. Because it's going to be in a situation where you gear back to the shiny object syndrome. Like, this is not working. Why is this not working? Okay, I made $15,000 this month. Now I'm only making $1 next month. And it's just understanding exactly, forget the past. Let's only worry about the future. And people stop focusing on the money. Focus on what's going on right now. Change that atmosphere, change the mindset, change your surroundings. I don't care if they're a family member, friend, or a 20-year friendship. Maybe that 20-year friendship is holding you back right now from your new destiny. And a lot of people don't understand that. Oh, yeah, we have the same goals. We have the same ambitions. Do you? Do you really? You guys are still working 9 to 5s, McDonald's for the last 10 years. You guys are doing amazing, right? No offense to McDonald's. I love McDonald's. Just throwing that out there. When
Shout out to Mickey D's.
So I throw that out there. But just giving some context behind it, just more so you really got to surround yourself with the people you really see are doing the right stuff. And
Chris, what's that quote from Super Mario?
Super Mario.
That ties right into this.
Was it Super Mario or was it Zach?
I think it was Super Mario.
Okay.
No. Yep, it was. It was Super Mario.
I believe he said something along the terms of never take advice with someone who you're not willing to switch places with. That hit home because it's so true.
Yes.
That is so true. Never take advice literally from someone who you're not willing to trade places with. So why are you on a day-to-day basis taking advice with someone who really just wasting breath right now? And that hit home a little bit because the fact of we on a day-to-day basis, we're always getting people who's giving us advice. They want to communicate this way. Hey, I think you're doing this wrong. I think you need to do this. What are you showing for? What do you actually show? What example are you doing right now to take me into another direction? Because you may be listening to the wrong stuff. You may be taking an advice from the wrong people, and that's why you're stuck in the same situation. Because I'm not the same person I was, or Jesse, 6 months ago, a year ago, or even 2 years ago, even 3 days ago. We're constantly going up. We're not going down. We're going up because essentially we're always surrounding ourselves with people at a higher caliber than us, who's making well over $1 million a year, $3, $4, $5 million a year. And that's who the people we want to be surrounded by, right? If you're surrounded 100%. By someone who's making like $15,000, $20,000 a year, it's not going to work. Not saying that, and guys, I want you to understand, like we all been in that situation where we're working 9 to 5s, doing what you're doing and all that good stuff. I'm just saying, like that shouldn't be the objective. Working a 9 to 5, making someone else rich or wealthy or whatever that looked like. A lot of you guys know, I came from a hospitality restaurant background. I thought making $60,000, $70,000 a year was amazing until I got into real estate. When I got into real estate, I wasn't making much. I realized hospitality restaurant industry making $67,000 a year versus when Jesse and I receive about $70,000 in 1 month. 1 month. Imagine receiving $70,000 in 1 month.
And that was 2 months after we had started from ground zero, guys.
Exactly.
That was 2 months. We went from ground zero, brand new business. And in the second month, it was June of this year. A lot of you guys probably already have heard this. But just to hammer down on Chris's freaking point here. Okay, Chris and I have only been business partners since June 1st. We met in March of this year. Our business officially went live June 1st. August made 70 grand.
1 month.
We don't say that. We're not saying that to brag.
Just
and if you're taking that as us as saying we're bragging, you're completely missing the entire point here. Everything that Chris and I are articulating and sharing with you guys now, reading these books, breaking your time down in incremental stages, time blocking, being intentional with the conversations that you guys are having. All of this is literally the blueprint to what we did. We're not holding anything back for you guys. So we know that there's no reason for you guys to be successful in this challenge and what it is you guys are trying to do. But it all comes down to right here. This is one thing that Chris and I have honed very, very greatly over the last couple years. And we've made more money this year than we've ever made in our entire lives because of it.
Absolutely.
And it's all right here. That's the only difference. That's the only thing that's changed, guys, is we've worked on ourselves. We worked on our mindset. And we've been intentional with it.
I like this. I agree. We got to get this on the shirt. Never take advice from someone who... I love that. I agree 1,000%. I'm actually going to make that happen. Stay tuned.
I love that. Christmas is right around the corner.
Vicky, I want to stop working for money and have money working for me. I I can't curse. I'm sorry. I freaking love that, Vicky. I freaking love that.
You need
100%.
one of these, Chris.
I love that. Like, Vicky, you nailed it right there. And literally, that's how everyone should be thinking. How many ways can you make money? Zach Hoyt. How many ways you can really make money?
I love that. We had a conversation with Zach a few months ago. I think we first met Zach Hoyt. He's been on our show, and it was a phenomenal show. If you guys are following us, go check them out. They're on YouTube, but specifically the one with Zach Hoyt was just absolutely amazing. He was dropping fire left and right. It was really awesome. And one of the things that I love that he brought up, and it really changed Chris and mine's perception as well. Guys, we're still learning. And this is like this isn't like Jesse and Chris, like, no, all and we're shot. Like, no, Chris and I are just a couple chapters ahead of you, but we're learning shit every day. Okay. And we're very intentional with the conversations that we're having and the things that we're implementing, and small things like that. It's just something small, right? That Chris shared with with what SuperMario shared with us. Don't take advice from somebody you're not willing to switch places with. Boom. We've heard something similar to that, right? Like, surround yourself with the people that are doing what you want to be doing. You become the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, blah, 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 right? They all kind of mean the same thing, but just hearing it a little bit differently, articulated a little bit differently, it unlocks something. You think about something a little bit differently, right? So what Zach Hoyt shared with us was truly amazing. It was awesome. Chris, will you repeat that again?
Never take advice from someone who you are not willing to trade places with.
Dude, I love
never.
that.
Never, 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 never. You can take it in. You don't have to utilize the advice or take action with the advice. But if you're not willing to trade places with that individual, don't do it. You're just gonna lead yourself down the rabbit hole.
When you guys come in here, and I know I've shared this with you, and I'm going to say it again. Get in here, and you guys should have an intention of linking up, finding 10 other people in the comments during these Saturday Zooms to go and network with that following week. Schedule time to have a conversation with them. And something that Zach told Chris and I that we knew, but just when he articulated like this, it flipped a switch, right? We understood it a little bit differently. But it's not, hey, how can we make money together? It's, hey, how many ways can we make money together? Now it's like, oh, interesting. Okay. So just a little bit different of a perception change a little bit, but go in there and be intentional with how you guys are coming to these meetings and what you guys want out of them. I would sit there and put an expectation on, hey, I'm going into the Zoom on Saturday. I know that this is who's going to be here. These are the things we're going to be talking about. This actually aligns with what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go find 10 other people in the comments that I can go connect with. This goes back into what our main overarching theme here today is feeling lost. If you're feeling lost, go do these things that Chris and I are talking about. If you're feeling lost, being intentional with coming into these meetings as opposed to just sitting here and consuming content, putting yourself on mute or whatever and consuming content. Guys, go hit Chris up from South Florida.
This is a perfect example where we can spotlight you. We can get your name out there. We want people to work with you. We want everyone to work with everyone. We can't bring you up or spotlight you if you're just a Facebook user. Please grant StreamYard access to see your name and show it visible on the screen. That'd be phenomenal. But yeah, squad up with Chris, and there's his number right there. And guys, when you reach out to people, just still introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Chris James. I saw you from wherever that may be. Never just start a conversation without introducing yourself. As Jesse and I, we receive a lot of phone calls and text messages, which is totally fine. We looking to help everyone, whatever that may look like. Just please introduce yourself and just don't start the conversation talking about a specific deal. And I'm like, okay, who I'm speaking to right now? Where is it? Whatever that may look like. Any multifamily people here? Joel is asking, do we have any multifamily people here? If we don't, we have a lot of them in the Facebook group. a lot. We have several leaders that's focusing multifamily. We got Keston. I'm not for sure if you know Joel, if you know who Keston is. Keston's phenomenal individual, along with Carlos, his business partner. Also, if you don't find anyone, just remember multifamily is going to be extremely huge next week. Extremely huge. Where Pace is going live. I believe it's December 7th, 8th, and 9th.
I think it's the 7th. Yeah.
Yeah, 7th, 8th, and 9th. 7th, 8th, and 9th are all about multifamily. He's going to show different ways, how to source out multifamilies versus, he's going to do a very similar challenge for us with the single families and reaching out to agents, but it's going to be a little bit different versus multifamily. And this is something this is a true go-giver. Pace is a true go-giver. He don't have to do that. This is free content that he's doing for you guys. So when he does do this stuff, you guys got to be patient. You have to be patient, understand that this is actually free content. He doesn't have to do that. Let's see. Keston, yep, that is him. Keston, phenomenal. He used to live in New York. He moved to Georgia, Atlanta. He moved to Atlanta, and then he's doing phenomenal. He's built multiple businesses, helped a lot of people out. He's skyrocketed within the sub-2 community. If you're not connected with Keston, that especially in the multi-family space, I don't know what you're doing. We have to get Keston on soon. I agree with that.
I think that's a good idea.
That I agree with that. How about you screenshot this and tell him to get his ass on the show?
yes. Screenshot this. Go post this in the creative group and tag Keston in it.
So get on the show.
Let's do it. I like that. That's a fantastic idea.
Hey guys, I'm looking to do 20K December, my first full month. EMD lending. Please reach out. This is perfect right here. This is perfect on set for Facebook user. Please connect with Facebook user, guys.
Once again, guys, if you guys are on the creative group watching this, whoever this is, we would love you to go. There's a link right above where you're watching this. There's a link. It says grant StreamYard access to your Facebook name or something along those lines. Just click it. Granted access. We can see who you are.
Actually, I'm about to look right now and see who that is.
Love it.
That is Lance Riggins.
Lance, come on down, dude. Grant StreamYard access to your name, brother.
Yeah, guys, reach out to Lance. He's looking to do 20K. Let's make it happen for him. Let's make it happen. Another Facebook user. I'm looking at the comments on my phone. Is Nisa Moore.
Okay.
King Pace.
I can, Father Pace, as I call him.
Absolutely. Yeah, amazing, guys. Again, next week and the next couple of weeks, guys, we got a lot of pretty neat things coming up. We got a lot of special guests coming on as well. It's just the fact we want you guys to really, if you guys have any topics you want us to specifically talk about, just let us know. Because I'm pretty sure whatever topic that may be, you're not the only one that's going through that alone. You're not. There's a lot of different things, and within this community, we want you guys to feel like it's a safe space. And I know sometimes it can be very challenging just to ask for help or ask questions, whatever that may look like. Something little as, hey, I don't know how to comp, or I'm afraid to get on the phone, or hey, I just don't know what to do. That's totally fine. We all was in that situation. And then once you start getting things going, you really start to find out exactly what you're looking to do ultimately. And I guarantee you, like, it's just a lot of things that you're not seeing right now that you're actually really good at. Guarantee it. And within the avatar, and guys, I know we can probably leave you with this, but the avatar series, please find your avatar and know exactly what your avatar is.
Great way to end it. Great way to end it.
Once you, I think it's a 3-hour YouTube.
I think it's a little over 3 hours. Oh. I think that's rather small for Pace.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, watch that series, understand what your avatar is, and you really will get a lot of clarity exactly what the next steps may be. And if you still just need a little bit more clarity, that's fine. You don't have to know everything. Reach out to Jesse and I, and we can book a Zoom call. And us three can literally hop on a call and literally try to focus on what you're really trying to do and help you task out your agenda. And we're more than willing to do that. We spend about 30 to 40 hours a week. That's a full-time job itself. A week on Zooms. And they're blocked out weekly, faithfully. And literally, I'm just trying to figure out where we could provide value to you. I'm interested in not getting my first deal before Christmas. My present to myself will be, I love that. I love that.
I think that one's Lance again, right? It says Lance here. I'm assuming it's Lance. Grant Facebook permission.
No, that was actually Nisa.
Oh, it was Nisa. Well, perfect. Well, let's figure out how we can make that happen. I would love to hear more. Hey guys, we have our Calendly. If you guys want to book a one-on-one with us, and we'd love to hear more about what you guys have going on, what's going on in your business, where are the bottlenecks, how many ways can we make money together? Because Chris and I want to do deals with you. We want to help you guys get your first deal. We want to jump on the phone with your guys' agents and sellers and help you guys understand, the nooks and crannies of things, so you guys can focus on one thing. Let Chris and I focus on one thing, and let's collaborate. Let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's do some deals. And if you guys are trying to get your first deal before the end of the year, fantastic. Let's go. Let's put a freaking plan together, and let's be intentional, guys. We still have, almost 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks left. There's no reason that we can't get some contracts out and get something in escrow right now.
100%. 100%. Let's see. Joel, I'm excited to see Pace will teach multifamily. The students teaching us their method of style. Love how the students are becoming mentors here. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, Pace has truly created I don't have any word to describe it, Jesse. He created a world of a bunch of go-givers.
Abundance.
There you go. That's a great word for abundance. And literally specific. Damn, Pace. I'm just thinking about all the things that Pace has done for me. When I first had my one-on-one with Pace, I was shocked. Like how it changed my entire mindset within like 10 minutes of a conversation. What I was thinking about was extremely small. Extremely small. And then literally talking to him and then going through not the course. That's not a course. I tell people all the time, that is not a course. That's really a community. A community that literally is going to, I hate to say it like this, but they're willing to, hop on the phone, hold your hand, and like, hey, we're going to work this out together. Let's just do it. This is what we're going to do. But at the same time, you got to want to take action at the same time. It can't force you to do it. I'm not going to say, hey, here's $20,000 and we're going to make this happen. No, you got to put in the work as well. And Darren will be interested in booking a call, working to get on first on the market. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
This is our link to book a call right under here, guys. Hopefully you guys can all see it. It's scrolling on the bottom. https://calendly.com /3mindrei/let's connect. So if you guys want to, you can screenshot it so you guys have the link, and then go ahead and click on it and book a call. We'd love to talk with you guys. Let's figure out how many ways can we make some freaking money together.
Let me find the link. I'm gonna send a link out right now because I think it's not connected to the Facebook.
Somebody said put it in the chat. We can't grab that link. Thanks. I know you can't grab it. You probably have to. For some reason from our end, anytime we type in the chat from where we are right now, it just goes to YouTube.
I got it right here. I'm going to post it real quick.
Okay, Chris is gonna post the link on his personal page through the chat. So hopefully you guys will grab it from there. Chris is gonna post it.
All right, there you go. There you go.
But in closing, guys, Chris just posted it in the Facebook group.
Here we go. All right, so it's on Facebook and YouTube now.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you for doing that, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, please, in the meantime, I know we got a few more minutes, but actually we got about 4 more minutes. But next week, please grant StreamYard so we can, we want to have a conversation. We want to know who we're speaking to so we can reach out to you guys as well and see how what the next steps may look like. And the link has been out successfully. I just had to make sure. It's okay. It went out successfully. And yeah, we want to connect. We want to see what the next steps may look like for you in your future, and how many, like Jesse said, how many ways can we make money together? There's not only one way, guys. There's not only one way. There's numerous ways. As long as you understand that literally creative finance there's no limit. There is no limit.
There really isn't. 100%.
Absolutely. But guys, this was great. This is great. I hope a lot of people got a little bit more clarity on just feeling lost in general. No, it's okay. When you guys are feeling lost, just always think it could be worse. The situation can be much worse. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for where you're at. Just be thankful for literally being alive. And you just never know what can happen in life. And where I'm not going to go into detail today, but just be thankful for your friends, your family members, people you're surrounding. Like Jesse mentioned earlier, he got in a car wreck. I could have lost my business partner. I could have. But he's a true testament of what down or feeling lost really looks like, because he could have took that and been in a worse situation. But he's here today still giving. And he could have taken the day off. He truly could have took the day off. And his family, having kids in that wreck, and his wife, that could be traumatizing to a lot of people. But Jesse staying positive about the situation, have a different outlook about it. His mindset is different, where he's still on task and on par to what he's really looking for in life. And he's very grateful at that. He's very grateful and humble. So thanks again, Jesse, earlier for sharing that for us. And
thank you.
You didn't have to share that, but you did. I definitely appreciate that.
I appreciate you. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Love you too. And if you guys got any questions and concerns in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to Jesse or I. We're here for you on all time zones. I'm on the East Coast. Jesse's in Alaska. He's 4 hours behind us.
Whatever you guys need. We've got a time coverage. We don't sleep.
But you guys have been amazing. Please reach out and see you guys next week.
I've got real quick. I've got if you guys want a link for I've got a Google Doc that I can send you guys to help with your time blocking. So if you guys want that, you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram, just at Jesse R. Stanton. Shoot me a PM and I'll be happy to forward you guys that link. But that's something that really helped, because we're talking about just feeling overwhelmed, right? And a lot of the things that Chris and I have touched on and talked about is hopefully giving you guys some insight and perspective on how to look at things differently and be intentional with what you're doing, your time, your skill set, and the things you're trying to accomplish. Focus on one thing, dial on one thing, and just be obsessed about it. Become undeniable about it. If you guys want, I got this Google link that really helped me earlier this year get really, really dialed in. And it's nothing like spectacular or anything like that, but it's just a way that I use to time block my day and get started with that. So if you guys are kind of feeling like you're lacking in that area as well, hit me up. I'm happy to share that link with you guys and help you guys in whatever capacity we can, whatever you guys need it. So Chris and I are here for you guys. Again, Chris and I are both very humbled and grateful for the opportunity to be here with you guys. Thank you so much. I know it's a Saturday afternoon. You guys could be doing anything else. You guys could be reaching out to agents, making phone calls and other Zoom meetings, doing all these other things. And you guys are here spending some time with us. So hopefully you guys are getting some value from it. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Let us know how we can help you. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Thank you very much. Hope everybody has an amazing rest of your weekend. Let's get after it.